everyone, it's Prime with Iron Octopus Fitness, and today is another episode, I guess they're episodes, of Technique Tuesday. Today I'm going to talk about rowing, specifically the single arm dumbbell row, but all of the kind of techniques and the things that I'm going to talk about as we go through this video specific to that row are very much applicable to nearly every rowing exercise. So pulling, we're talking about pulling today. Let's fix your row. Most of us realize that when we're doing any sort of pulling exercise, so like the single arm dumbbell row I'm going to show you, or anything like a pull up or an inverted row, all of these things are supposed to target your back, and your back has a fuck ton of muscles. Different types of rows target different parts of the muscles in your back. Definitely don't just pick one and stick to it, but all of these rows require you to really focus on how you're moving your back muscles, specifically your shoulders. Our back muscles control what our shoulders do, our shoulder blades. When we're talking about what we're doing during our row, I'm going to talk a lot about what your shoulders are doing. One of the things that I see really often when people go into the gym and row is that they just kind of go in and like row the weight around, and they're using muscles that aren't necessarily the muscles that they want to be using to do a row properly, because you're not engaging and creating tension in your shoulders. So if you watched my push-up video, you probably recognize that I talked a lot about creating tension in your shoulders so that you're keeping your shoulders safe and you're targeting the proper muscles in your chest when you're doing a press up, and then also your core. The same thing is true for a row. You really want to focus on keeping tension in your shoulders and kind of stacking your shoulders so that when you pull, you are actually using your full back muscle. I mean, that's it, really. Like, it's all about tension through your shoulders. If you have droopy, floppy shoulders while you're rowing, then you're not getting the most bang for your buck. Stop being a wacky, inflatable, arm flailing tube person. Like, create some tension up here. A lot of times when we come in and we do rows, like you see somebody in the gym and they just like have something in their arm and they're just like rowing it like this. What we want to do whenever we row is make sure that we're creating tension in our shoulders and that we're not doing this like hunched over, looking at our cell phone or typing at a computer thing. The reason why we row, the reason why it's really important, and the reason why we want to do it more often than we pull is to counteract this thing. I want my posture to be good, and one of the ways to build better posture is to strengthen the muscles along your back. And so you have to have good posture while you're lifting to strengthen the right muscles so that you can have good posture later on. It's like a catch-22, it's fine. What we're going to do whenever we lift is we're going to make sure that we are actually sitting or standing straight up, that we aren't hunched over, that our shoulders are in line straight across our chest, right, like straight across our collarbone here, and that we're not arching through our lower back. The way that we keep our back neutral but our chest up, I want to engage my lats, so I'm going to pretend like I'm squeezing orange juice in between my arms in this spot right here, that I have an orange right here and I'm trying to squeeze orange juice out of it. So I'm going to do that first, is engage those lats and pretend like I'm squeezing something in there. And then I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together, and that should automatically lift my nipple line up. I want to have my chest up like I'm a peacock walking down the street, like I got this swagger before I row. That's what I want out of life. Once I've created this line and all of this tension through my shoulder, then I'm gonna row, and I'm gonna get a lot more work through the muscles that I'm supposed to work. Is this weird if I lay down like this? The single arm dumbbell row is something that I'm gonna do off a bench. One hand and one leg on the bench. So you set them on a bench, one knee directly underneath your hip, and your other arm directly underneath your shoulder. So my feet are in line. If both of my feet were on the ground, they would be in line. And then you're going to hold the dumbbell down next to you. Everything should be kind of like I'm on all fours. My shoulder is all floppy right here, like I don't have any tension in it. So I'm gonna squeeze my lats, and that's going to be how I'm gonna start. So you can see that my shoulder switches position and my chest kind of tilts up a little bit. And once I've created that tension, I'm gonna pull up, kind of like I'm pulling it up towards my back pocket. So that's a pretty basic tutorial on pulling in general, this specific one in particular. Just like with most upper body exercises, what we're really focusing on is getting our spine in good alignment, making sure that we have tension in our shoulders and not just being wacky, inflatable, arm flailing tube people and just like flopping around. It's really important with upper body movements to learn how to squeeze those oranges and kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together. As soon as I engage my shoulders, you can see that I'm sitting up a little bit straighter. The line of my shoulders has changed a lot. They're pulled back a little bit more. Those are things that you can look for in the mirror before you even approach a gym. Practice getting your brain and those muscles to talk to each other so that you're creating that tension through your shoulders so that you can both pull and press effectively without hurting yourself. That's it. That's it.